HQ for the launch of the Ladies National Football League. Delighted to be joined by triple All-Ireland winning Dublin manager Mick Bohan. Mick, it starts again this weekend. How the prep's been going?
Good, yeah. We're only back at it 2 weeks, but excited now all over again. Lots of new faces, some old friends back with us in the panel this year, and obviously some new girls once again. So I have to say I find this time of year quite exciting. Just the whole journey begins, and you know who you can unearth or develop or whatever. So challenge for coaches is really high at this point in time. So I enjoy the NFL. Yeah.
Do you get any real break at all? Like you're talking a lot there about new players and preparing for the new season. Do you get much downtime from when the All Ireland is finished?
No, you don't. I don't think you get a whole heap of downtime, but it's a little bit like a job in that there's huge variety after September. Go straight back into fundraising or preparing for medal presentations or going out to the clubs with the players and kids, meeting them, or coaching days. So all that is, even though it's obviously time consuming, it's very different, and there's a nice atmosphere surrounds it. And also the award nights, like getting to meet people in different sports and seeing how they go about their business. And it's certainly a time of year where you can pick up some fresh ideas and learn from people in their trade who've been very successful, and I enjoy that. And then all of a sudden it's upon you without even realising that it's whatever 4 or 5 weeks ago it seems like it's forever away, and then here it comes. So.
A manager and coach like yourself, is it all about finding new ways of playing, new ideas, to keep everything fresh, particularly against opposing teams who may have looked at the way you played last year? Is it about changing, like tweaking little things here and there to make a difference?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is about tweaking it for sure. But as long as I'm involved in sport, I think there'll be one key message I keep repeating to myself, and that's never forget the basics. The basics in the game will never change. Catching, kicking, scoring, tackling, they're always going to be paramount to the success of a team. So you're obviously going to tweak the way you play at different stages and for different types of opposition. Even I suppose the way the year finished last year with ourselves in Galway, I'd say both teams left that pitch regardless of result, saying that they were going to deal with that situation better the next time. So that's certainly been sitting on my mind ever since we left.
The National League, you normally give plenty of game time to, as you say, the new players coming through. Maybe some of the minor players who may have joined the panel from last year's minors, doing the same again this year.
All over again, yeah. And some of those situations will be forced upon us, and others won't. But yeah, I really genuinely look forward to that, because when you're putting players out into that cauldron, there isn't any hiding place, and it's lovely to see them step up, and those that doesn't go as well for go back to the training ground and see can they find something in themselves. And that's, I suppose, why the Ava Rutledges of this world give you such a lift, and that they're probably the times in sport. They don't always stand out as much as that situation, but they're the things in sport when your career is finished and you look back on that you probably would remember much more so than the silver.
You were saying there's some old faces back. I've heard Leah Caffrey and Sarah McCaffrey are back in the squad. Great to have those two back in the
Delighted to have them back, and Rebecca MacDonald and Laura McGinley and Dean Murphy. So as much as it's great having them back, it's encouraging for us to know that people want to be in this environment, and that actually, from a point of view of creating that healthy culture, I'd be very pleased with the way our support team and coach and staff go about their business, and that's the way players feel that they even if they decide they want a year out to go travelling or otherwise, that this is somewhere that they want to come back to.
Talking about health-wise, I take it you'll be hoping you have a little bit more luck on the injury front this year than you had last year. Some bad injuries to a couple of players, in particular Nicole Owens. Right at the wrong time of the year, Sinead Ahern with the shoulder injury, Siobhan Colleen, another one. I know Siobhan and Nicole are probably are they still missing for the start of the league?
Yeah, Siobhan has been back, hasn't trained with the squad yet, but hopes to in the next couple of weeks, and please God we'll have her on the pitch by the end of February. She's worked incredibly hard in the off season, as has Nicole. Dee Murphy is another girl who's rejoined us, but she did her ACL and had surgery in the summer as well. And then Laura McKinley and Rebecca McDonald are back. Some of the older players, more experienced players. When you think, I think, like when I was 31 or 32, I thought it was old, and then I hit 41 or 42, and I thought it was young. So it all depends where you're at. But some of the players who put up a bit of mileage would probably give them an extended rest. That's a healthy thing, and then the likes of Nicole, we probably see her around May time, and that's fine too, because that injury has to be dealt with properly, or otherwise the percentage of reoccurrence is high.
And you'll also, probably in and around that time, around the April time, you'll also get Sinead Goldrick back and Eve McAvoy, who are in Australia playing for Melbourne.
Very good. Interesting watching how they develop now over the coming weeks. Not too many people don't want to run into Goldie, whether they're from Australia or from Dublin. The girls are in good fettle. They're actually really excited about the start of that this weekend.
Tipperary up first this weekend. They won the Intermediate All-Ireland Championship last year, so it's a meeting of the two All-Ireland champions. What type of game are you expecting?
Yeah, well, I believe Tipperary have been back training since October, so it'll be interesting to see. They certainly have a bit of legs on us, I'd say, at this stage, but they're a fine team, and obviously they want to lay a mark down in senior football. They probably got caught the last time with the whole relegation thing, and realistically, I'd say Meath probably are biting their tongues, but probably should be intermediate champions if things had gone the way they should have gone, and Tipperary had maintained their senior status. But that's the way it is, and obviously they've some really, really good individual players, so it'll be a big test, and sure they can't wait to get a crack at us.
I've just been notified there as well. That game will actually be on Facebook. It's going to be shown live on Facebook at the weekend as well. So again, you've two double headers with the men's as well this year. McHale Park and Croke Park again. Great again to get that experience.
The Castlebar fixture, I was just saying to the lads up there, the Castlebar fixture has to be the best experience I've had involved with this group. From a point of view of a cauldron to walk into, there must have been 8,000 or 9,000 people at half time the time we played there. Obviously they come out in their droves whenever the men are travelling, but that double header in Castlebar is really appetising, and obviously then playing Cork before the lads came and Croker again, it's great. Long may those double headers continue, even when people aren't watching or supervising, that we make those good decisions.
I know you take every competition seriously. Is there more emphasis though on the league this year, going as far as you can to competition, having no senior Leinster Championship this year?
Yeah, like obviously at the start of every competition you'd love to be at the finale, but there'll be no different approach taken by us to the National League. We obviously, like every other team, would love to be involved in the final stages of this, and particularly because we've no Leinster Championship, but we're not in control of that, and we're certainly not going to change the way we do our business based on that, because ultimately you're looking at only one extra game, if you happen to get out of your group for a semi-final. But that's something we're going to have to deal with in its own right, because there's two ways of looking at that. One, you could say there'll be a freshness coming into the summer series. Equally, you'd say you're going in without that cohesion of playing competitive games, and our girls will have gone back and play club championship for 6 or 7 weeks. But we're looking forward to the month of June, where they come back together with us, and we just have one goal. Now there's a rule of no challenge games in June, which is really going to thwart us, so we'll have to bring in someone from New Zealand or something to kind of figure that one out. But look, we'll come up with a plan, and but in the league in itself is a great competition. We've only won it once, so it's not exactly something we're flushed with from the point of view of achievements. It just shows you how difficult a competition it is to win, and in spite of the fact that we're trying new players and trying to give them game time, you're still trying to be successful in every outing you go out, and learning that cut and thrust of finishing games off or making good decisions at important times. That's all part of the development of players. So all those things to look forward to.
Will you be expected, that there's the normal teams that you know, finish near the top of that league? Are you expecting it to be probably the same names, or can you see somebody coming out of the pack?
Yeah, see, interesting because this time, like when you're immediately into a final as opposed to going into a semi-final, that changes the whole thing. Like, you know, you can actually, in previous years, is all you have to do is finish in a top four. Like that's changed now. Like now you're finishing in a top two, so all of a sudden you lose one game, and you could be in trouble. You start off, obviously, there's going to be, well, the likelihood 3 or 4 teams in their first game and they're already chasing it. But again, even if that does happen us the weekend, we can't lose sight of what we're trying to achieve, you know. And while people outside may be ringing alarm bells, it's very important inside that we're not.
And that's going to make it a highly competitive league as well. There's only 2 spots, and you know, look, every team is looking to win the league, so there's not going to be any games in there that are going to be easy.
No, and if you're coming up to Division 1, if you're a new team up, there's no doubt about it that they will have worked hard. But I know the first year that we got involved, we met the group in October for a meeting and then announced to them that we were back training the first week in November, to which you could almost pick 25 or 26 bodies up off the floor. They were nearly appalled at the thought of it, right? But we needed to, and it wasn't training, it was back trying to get them to improve their skills, to get a basic understanding of what type of movement patterns we were trying to implement. But that gave us a really good start in the league, you know, because now you could argue these are a really seasoned group, and you know, like we played a challenge game the weekend against Donegal, and the quality of the football was really good, even though there was, you know, probably 7 or 8 new faces who joined the squad. But the seasoned competitors just bring that aura of confidence and know-how. They kind of nurture other players through a game. So there is that side of it. And then obviously as the season goes on, because you've started later, you will be fresher. So there's obviously advantages and disadvantages. But I mean, Tipperary could be our toughest challenge in the National League because of the way they've prepared for it.
Well, Mick, very best of luck with the weekend. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you. Cheers.